All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. Sound check 1, 2. Let me know if you can hear me. We gotta we gotta get you on Instagram, Perry. Go follow along all the adventures. It was definitely a good birthday weekend though. A lot of relaxing. Got couple little things done that I wanted to get done. Saw some new things, so it was a good time. No complaints at all. All right. Um, Wake, if you can't get access to the morning trade plan and you're logged in, then that means you don't have the um, the permissions for it. It's part of the MLT team bundle. If you have not signed up for that, you can do so for just $1 for 14 days, and that's where the morning write-ups and all that stuff and the videos, all of that fun stuff goes. But if you already did sign up for it, then check your email because it gets emailed out too. It gets emailed out before I drop it in the Discord. Awesome. What's up, Duke? Tammy, how you doing? Appreciate that, Mike. Prayer. Hope you guys all had a good weekend as well. Off to a little bit of a slower start here this morning. Gonna keep it kind of easy this morning. But let's get into it and kind of talk about the markets. So I sent the morning write-up out this morning, and when I did so, kind of looked, across the board at the four main indices, took a look at a little bit of gold, a little bit of crude there as well. And then I've been watching the bonds lately here. There was some, kind of correlation, some bonds, proving themselves a little bit more so than the indices here last week. So just kind of keeping an eye on that for, some type of early indication, kind of a sign of, hey, I want to do this type of thing. And again, it kind of kept us out of trouble a little bit last week where something just wasn't quite feeling right with the bonds and the rest of the markets. But what we've got coming into today, I think there's a couple larger things, shaping up here. We've got basically like a 20-point overnight range here, lows of 29.28s, highs of 29.46, 75s. I'm not really considering that. Not that we didn't trade that, but we really stayed within like a 6 to 8 point range for the majority of the overnight session here. And I talked about it in the morning write-up, which again was about an hour ago, and we had only traded 175,000 contracts on the day. As of right now, we're at 187,000 contracts on the day. So we've done like 12,000 contracts in the past hour, basically, which is really, really light. So there's a couple big things here in terms of just price structure wise. So my actual game plan for today, I'm going to be really simple and blunt about it, is actually not to trade. I think we're going to have a rather inside day with the potential for one kind of fake out up through these 53 quarters here, the highs from end of day on Friday there. So I can see us kind of popping up there. Maybe we trade 54s, 55s, 56s, something like that, and then start to kind of settle back down on the day. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a fairly tight range. Realistically, I think you could just throw a dart on a chart, and if you hit somewhere close to where we're currently trading at, I think that'll be pretty close to what the closing price will be for the day. But the bigger thing that I'm seeing here right now is going to come over on a weekly chart here. So if we look at a weekly chart, oh, and before I do that, actually, there is Fed Chair Powell speaking at 1 today. I don't specifically know. Do deliver brief remarks, screening of a film. I don't know why this guy gets all these things marked in red. He's speaking at a movie. But anyways, who knows? He could come out and say something smart or stupid and move the markets. Who knows? So keep an eye on that at 1 o'clock if you are going to be around. But for me right now, the bigger thing I'm seeing here is going to come from the weekly chart. So I'm going to flip through these really quickly. And I want you guys to actually tell me what you're seeing here from the weekly chart. All right, so a quick 4, 3, 2, 1 type thing here. We've got the S&Ps here, NASDAQ here, 4, 3, 2, 1. Russell here, 4321, and the Dow here, 4321. So just from a weekly chart standpoint, go ahead and just punch in there what you guys are seeing as the big difference here. There's actually a couple differences, but there's one specifically that I'm kind of, trying to get you guys to see here this morning, between the four main indices, S&Ps, NASDAQ, Russell, and the Dow here this morning. If you guys got the morning right up, then it's a little bit of a cheat code. So either way, you can still answer. But Duke's coming in saying ranging. That's partially true, yes. Not specifically what I'm looking for, though. The second one was consolidating. True, which would be the NASDAQ. Also true, but not specifically what I'm looking at here. Resistance tops, also true, but not specifically what I'm looking for here as well. You guys are picking out actual things that are happening on the charts here, but there's one thing really in particular that I'm focused on right now. And that's going to be, if we take a look at this weekly bar here in the S&Ps, massive buying now back to downtrend line. All true, all true. Look at specifically just last week's bar here in the S&Ps. It's red. It's got a big bottoming tail, of course, but it is red. Take a look at the NASDAQ. It actually turned green by the end of the week last week. Take a look at the Russell, the Russell. Not as much of a bottoming tail, but a larger red wick there, and much, much lower here on the weekly chart compared to highs from back here in 2018. And then same thing here in the Dow. Dow ended up with nice big bottoming tail there, but again still red candle there on the weekly. So the NASDAQ here is by far the outperformer here with respect to the other three indices. And again, percentage change on the day, we're all pretty much right around each other. So 0.33, 0.34 down to 0.26 there. So that isn't the big thing today, but the overall price structure that we're seeing right now with the NASDAQ being super strong here. And what that leads me to kind of think that's going to kind of take place here this week, what I would actually like to see, again, Russell, big downtrend here. Couldn't quite get to these prior lows from back here. But what I do think we could see this week is the Russell actually being the weaker market, and the Dow is also weaker with the Russell there, is we could see a move lower here this week that actually takes out last week's lows down here in the Russell. These lows coming down at 1459s, while that just puts the S&Ps and the NASDAQ into an hourly pullback here that potentially doesn't break some support levels. So we've got 76.33 here in the NASDAQ, and we're going to have another level down here at 75.40 50s. So if Russell can come down, or Dow can come down, or both of them can come down, bless you, then I like the idea of a failure to go lower, kind of, kick you in the face type of move there, where we come down, grab those new lows, failure to go lower, and then just absolutely rip back to the upside in the Russell and the Dow. And that's really what we're going to need to see to get this market going, I think, to the upside. Right now we're back in, kind of the middle of this big range here for the S&Ps. I mean, currently trading 2941s. So we're back in, kind of the upper end of the range from August, and we're now kind of the new range that we basically set in September and partially October here. We're right back in the middle of kind of that range. Highs up here around 3020s, lows down here around 2860s. We had a 139 point range last week, and we basically went, down 150 points, back up 100 points, and all that happened inside of, essentially 4 days there. So we're going to need to see some bigger things come together in order to make the transition to either a continued weekly uptrend here, which is what we're on the verge of potentially giving up, or a failure of what is now forming a new weekly buy setup here across the board in all four indices. That again, that could take us much lower here if that does not in fact hold. So I'm going to be patient this week. Again, we're right back in the middle of that range. Overnight range was like 6 to 8 points, like I said. Large gap down, somewhat of a rally back. and just really light volume, 190,000 contracts here today. Russell's only at 11,000. So for me, I'm going to be patient, sit on the sidelines here today. Small poke through the upside, if anything is potential there. And realistically, we have, kind of some larger levels up here, 29.8675s all the way down to 29.0275s here. And I don't want to necessarily consider this as a do not trade zone, but we are going to need, a day or two more worth of data to start really constructing, I think, a good solid trade plan here. So that's what I'm looking at for currently right now. We do have gold down about $10 here today. So I do think gold is actually going to be a little bit of a mover here today. And we do have crude up about 66 cents here, and that's coming off those 51.22s from down here last week, which were really, really important levels here. And we're now working back into a new uptrend here on crude. So crude's actually going to be an interesting one here again this week as well, as is gold and bonds. And right now for the overall indices, just going to be patient, biding our time. And again, I think it's a really, really slow day. So don't try and press anything. If you want to listen to Pal at 1 o'clock, introduce some movie, feel free. I don't think that'll be a big market mover. But either way, that is on the calendar for news announcements for today. But anyways, that's what I've got for you guys so far this morning. Hopefully you guys all had a great weekend. Looking forward to this week. Again, I think it's just going to start off a little bit slow and pick up here towards the end of the week. So thank you guys so much for your time this morning. I will see you guys back in just a few minutes in the MLT Discord for the morning live session. If you guys are new around here on YouTube, be sure to click that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification so you know when we go live each and every morning. And if you want to join the MLT Discord, there's a link in the description below. Go ahead and click that to get you guys all the details, and be happy to see you guys in there. So take care, have a good rest of your trading day, and I'll see you guys back in just a couple minutes.